what does that mean if a ship is wrecked? Can you explain that to me?
Destroyed.
Destroyed. Destroyed. So if something is a wreck, it's destroyed. Have you seen that word before, Pachu?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So that's a
Yes.
word that both of you are familiar with. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I'm just going to put a sentence up here, and I think it will take a few seconds for it to appear uh, for us on the video. Oh no.
Yes.
Oh my. I've just oh, here we go. Okay. Mohammed, can you read that sentence? What does it say?
The car was a total wreck after the accident.
Hmm. Can you say the first three words?
The car was
Okay. Pachu, can you say the first three words?
Yes. The the car was.
Okay. The car was. The car was. The car was. The car was. The car. Let's see. The car. Let's start with those two words. The car. What do you think about those two vowel sounds? Are those big sounds or short sounds, Mohammed?
short sounds.
Are they both short sounds?
The car. I think car is long.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It's not the car. It's not a big sound. It's a small sound. The car, the car. Can you say it like that?
The car.
Okay. Can you try to make the vowel sound a little bit longer? The car.
The car.
Ah. Can you say ah?
Are
The car.
the car.
Yeah, that's better. That's better. Can you say it, Pachu? How do you say that?
The car.
The
The
car.
car.
The car was. What do you think about that word was? Is that a big sound or a little sound, Muhammad? Was.
Was let sound. We say the car was a total wreck.
Well, let's just say the first three words. Let's just think about the first three words, okay?
Okay.
Is that a big sound or a little sound?
I will say it a little sound.
A little sound?
Yes.
The car was. The car was a. The car was a. It could be. It could. Now, if I'm saying it as one word, is it a big sound or a little sound? Was. Is that big or small?
Big sound.
It's big. Okay, but sometimes it could sound small in a sentence, like here. The car was. The car was. The car was. Can you say it like that?
The car was.
The car was. The car was. Can you say it, Pachu?
The
How would you?
car was.
Mm-hmm. Pachu, can you say it?
Uh, yes, sir. The car was.
The car was. The car was. Now, what about that, Muhammad? What about the next word? Is that a big sound or a little sound?
Little sound.
Okay. Uh, so how will you say those four words together?
The car was a total.
Just the first four words. The car was a. The car was a.
The car. The car was a.
Okay. So that's small, big, small, small. The car was a. The car was a. Can you say it like that?
The car was a.
The car was a. Can you say it, Pachu? How would you say that?
Yes. The car was.
The
The car
car
was.
was a. The car was a. The car was a. Okay. Now, what about the next word? Muhammad, could you say the next word? What is the next word in that sentence?
Total.
Okay. Pachu, can you say that word? How would you say that word?
Is it total?
Okay.
Total.
Uh, Muhammad, can you say the word again?
Total.
Okay. I'm going to I'm going to say the word, and I want you to think about how big are these two syllables. Okay, are they big syllables? Are they really long in duration or short? Total, total. Are they long sounds or short sounds?
I think first sound is long,
Okay.
the second is short.
Can you say the first sound? How does that first sound? How does the first syllable sound?
Total.
Total, total, toe, toe. How many sounds? Toe, toe.
Total.
How many
Two
sounds?
sound.
How many?
Uh, a vowel, two vowels.
What are the two vowels? Tell me.
First one, oo sound, and
First,
the second,
uh-huh.
first, first one, oo sound.
Oh, oh,
Yes.
total. Can you say that? Say it.
Oh,
Total,
total,
total, total.
total.
Can you say it, Pachu? How do you say that word?
Yeah, it's a total.
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 Oh, oh, oh. See, your mouth starts open and then it gets very small, like you're going to give a kiss. Toe,
Yeah.
toe, total.
Toe.
Mhm.
Toe. Total.
Can you say it, Mohammed? Total,
Total.
total. You make sure you're giving a kiss at the end. Total.
Total.
Hmm. The car was a total.
The car was a total.
Hmm. Can you say it, Pachu? How will you say those four
The-
words?
Okay. The car was a total.
The car was a total. Okay. Now the next word, wreck. Wreck. What do you think about that vowel sound in that word, wreck?
Short vowel.
It's very short. Can you say that word again? Short.
R- Rack. Short.
Short. It's short. That's right. Wreck. Wreck.
Rack.
Wreck. Okay. The car was a total wreck. Can you say all of those words together?
The car was a total wreck.
Wreck. Okay. Now, you probably don't want to, when you say an R in English, you don't really want to use your tongue. You don't want to, well, you have to use your tongue, but don't touch your tongue to the top of your mouth. Don't say wreck, wreck, but just let your tongue stay still in your mouth. Wreck, wreck.
Rack.
Yeah, that's better. Wreck, wreck.
Rack.
Pachu, can you say all of those words together? The car was a total wreck.
The car was a total wreck.
Hmm. So we have the car was a total wreck. This is wreck is small too. Okay.
The car
Hmm.
was total wreck.
Was a. You don't forget the was a total wreck.
Okay. The car was a total wreck.
Okay. Mohammed, what about the next word? After. After. What do you think about the vowel sounds in that word? After.
Long vowel. After.
Okay. And what about ter? Ter. Is that big or small?
I think small.
Okay. After. After. Can you say that word?
After.
After. But now don't let your tongue move. Just try to keep your tongue still in your mouth when you say it. After.
After.
hmm The car was a total wreck after.
The car was a total wreck after.
hmm Can you say it, Pachu? How would you say that?
Okay. The car was a total wreck after.
Okay. And then we have now here's something interesting. Okay. How will you say the next two words together, Muhammad?
The accident.
Again?
The accident.
Okay. So, how do you pronounce the first word? What is the first word?
The
Okay. Now, if here's the funny thing, because if the next word has a consonant like car, the car, k, that's a consonant. It's the car. If I say the car, is the big or small?
small.
That's right. But accident starts with a vowel sound. So suddenly the word the becomes the. And you said that, Muhammad. I heard you say the. That's only in front of a vowel though. It becomes the. Pachu, can you say those two words together? The accident. How would you say that?
So the accident,
Okay. What is the final sound of the?
E,
E. And what is the first sound?
long E.
What is the first sound of accident?
Accident is also vowel.
Okay. So what do you have to do
Acc-
if you want to put
we
the?
have to
Go ahead.
we have to add extra sound, that is E.
Okay, so how would you say that in one long word?
So the accident.
The accident is becomes a very long sound. Can you try that,
Yeah.
Mohammed? Can you say the accident?
The accident.
Yeah, the accident.
The accident.
That happens when you have one word that finishes with a vowel sound and then you have another word that starts with a vowel sound. You have to put an extra sound in the middle to separate the two words so we can hear both of the words very clearly. The accident.
The accident.
That happens all the time. Can you say it again, Pachu?
Yeah, the accident.
The accident.
The,
The accident.
yeah.
Okay, so we have the car was a total wreck after the accident. Can you say the entire sentence, Mohammed?
The car was a total wreck after the accident.
Okay, now is it the car or the car? Which one?
The car.
The car. The car.
The car.
Okay, so we have the car, but the accident. Why the difference? What is the difference?
Because of the two vowels.
That's right, because accident starts with a vowel. You say the accident, but the car. The car. The car was a total wreck after the accident. Can you say it again?
The car was a total wreck after the accident.
The accident.
The accident.
Okay. Pachu, can you say it again?
So the car was a total wreck after the accident.
The
After
accident.
the accident.
How do you say the last two words?
The accident.
The accident or the accident? Which one is better?
No, the accident.
The accident, like that, yeah. So not the accident, but the accident. Okay.
Means we have to make longer sound. The.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
It becomes very long. There are a lot of little sounds in between there. The
We
go ahead. What?
we put Y between them.
Can you repeat that, Mohammed?
We put letter Y between them.
Yes, but it's the letter I because the first sound is E. The you always double that sound. So if it were a different sound, you would use a different sound. So like uh, new. Let's see, new. I need something with a U or no new. new interest. Let's say new interest. New ends with oo, and interest starts with I. But because new ends with oo, you would say new interest. So it's whatever that first sound is. You have to double. New interest. But this case, it's E. Okay, Mohammed, how would you make a yes/no question with the car was a total wreck after the accident? How would you ask a yes/no question with that sentence?
Uh, does the car was in a total wreck after the accident?
Okay, can you repeat that question? There was a little problem. How would you fix that problem? You know what you might have done wrong?
Does the car was in a total wreck?
Okay. Well, there's a problem with that, and I want to explain to you what the problem is. But Pachu, you're very good at asking questions. How would you make a question with that?
Yes. So the
Sorry,
question
teacher.
Yes, go ahead.
is
I
the
know, but I
was.
was wrong now.
Do you know the answer? Can you do it the correct way? Do you know?
It's dead.
It's what?
It's dead the car. Did the car
Uh,
was
uh-huh. Was.
in a total wreck after the accident?
Okay, Pachu, can you help us? How would you make that question?
Okay, so the was the car a total wreck after the accident.
Was the car a total wreck after the accident? Now we have to it's really important, I think, that we stop for a minute and talk about how do you make a question in English. Because, this is, even if you study English for a long time, a lot of people have difficulty making questions in English because it's very complicated. So let's talk about the rules for making a question for a moment. Let me see. How do you make a graph with this software? I'm trying to make a table. It must be a tape. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. So Mohammed, you can see the screen, right? You're watching the screen.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the way I always explain making questions for people. And what I do is I divide the verbs into two different places. Okay. Uh, let's see. Okay. All right. Can you see the table that I've created here with column A and column B? Do you see those?
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't see have.
Oh, you don't see half of it? Okay. I have to look at the videos after I make them to see if it because I just assume that what I see you can see. But I guess something let me look at the screen here. Okay, that's because it's too close up. Let me oh, okay. How about now? Is that better?
Yes, now I can see it full.
Okay. So we have column A and we have column B. And now, first, I'm just going to make a sentence, right? I'm just going to make a very simple sentence, which is can you see the sentence that I'm writing under the chart? Probably not. I'll adjust it in a minute. No, you can't. It's not enough room. Okay, can you see my sentence here? Today is hot.
Yes, now I see.
Today is hot. What is the verb in that sentence?
Is.
Is. Okay. Now, if we look at the chart, where is that located in the chart? Is that in column A or column B?
And column A.
Okay, that's right. It's the verb to be, and the form is. How would you ask a yes no question with this sentence? Today is hot.
Is today hot?
That's right. Okay. Is today hot? So the statement form is today is hot, and the question form is today hot? Okay. All right. How would you answer no to that question? How would you say no? No, today.
No, today isn't hot.
That's right. No, today is not hot. Okay. No, today is not hot. Oh, all right. So just so because we have to move along a little bit, I'm going to make another statement here, which is he likes pizza. Okay. Can you see that? He likes pizza.
Yes, I can
Oh,
see.
okay. And how? What is the verb in that sentence? He likes pizza.
Uh, likes.
Okay. And is that in column A or column B? Let me move the chart down. Is that in column A or column B?
I can't see the column B.
It's column B. So how would you make a question with a column B verb?
Uh, the sentence was he likes pizza.
The
Okay.
sentence is.
Does
Go ahead.
does he like pizza?
Okay, so this is a do verb. You have to use the question word do. Does he like pizza? Right? And how would you answer no?
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't like pizza. So, just very quickly, some verbs, column B verbs, you have to use the question word do. But for column A, you don't. You do it. There's a different process for making a negative or making a question. Is that pretty clear? Do you remember that?
Yes, yes.
So normally I would like to take time. I would like to spend a couple of hours with you practicing this to make it clear. But we've got to move on to continue talking. So in our sentence, the car was a total wreck. What is the verb?
Was
Okay, so how would you make a question with the car was a total wreck?
was the car in a total wreck?
Okay, was the car a total wreck after the accident? Was the car? Can you say the whole question? Was the car a total wreck?
Uh, was the car a total wreck after the accident?
Pachu, can you also how would you answer no to that question? Was the car a total wreck after the accident?
So the car wasn't a total wreck after the accident.
Okay, no, the car wasn't a total wreck after the accident. Mohammed, can you give the negative answer? How would you give the negative answer to that question?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, can you? But since we're practicing pronunciation, can you
Uh,
say the entire
uh,
sentence?
no, it wasn't in a total wreck after the accident.
Okay. Do you know a lot of times the T becomes silent in English, so it's okay to say it wasn't if you want, but I think a lot of people would probably just say it. It wasn't, or I would anyway. That's how I would pronounce it. I would just say it. It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't.
It wasn't.
Can you say it wasn't a? It wasn't a.
It wasn't a,
It wasn't a total wreck.
it wasn't a total wreck.
It wasn't a total wreck after the accident.
It wasn't a total wreck after the accident.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next word. Do either of you, I think Pachu, we've talked about this word a little bit before. Do you remember it? Lest.
Yeah, list means I forget.
Well, Mohammed, are you familiar with that word? Have you seen that word before?
I think we said at least.
List.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We were talking about it yesterday, weren't we? Okay, but it really isn't. Doesn't really mean that. It's it's a signal. Okay, it's a signal, and what you put after it means I am afraid this will happen. Okay, so for example, uh, if I say take an umbrella because it is raining. Why am I telling you to take an umbrella? What am I afraid will happen to you if you don't use your umbrella?
You get wet.
Yeah, so that's what you put here. You say lest you get wet. Right? So it's a signal that means I'm afraid this will happen to you. Is that pretty clear how you would use that?
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty advanced English. So that's like something good to know for a test. Now, one thing about lest is that you always use the simple form of the verb. So uh, leave early. Okay, uh, leave early for your job interview. Lest, what am I afraid of? Why am I telling you to leave early for your job interview? What am I worried will happen to you? What am I?
Leave earlier than like leave or arrive early.
Well, I'm saying leave your home early. Leave your home early.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's
Uh, lest you get rejected.
okay. Or maybe if I'm afraid you're going to be late, so lest you be late. You see, I'm using this.
You,
You use the simple form of the verb when you use lest. Lest you be late.
okay.
Okay, so that's the one thing you have to remember about that is you use the simple form. Okay, so let's take ChatGPT gave me some examples here. So let's try this one. Okay, so I'm just going to put a new example up here. Can you see what I've written? Has it shown up yet on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, can you read it? What does it say?
She kept quiet lest she offend someone.
Pachu, can you read that? What does it say?
Yes, she kept quiet lest she offend someone.
Okay. Uh, Pachu, can you say the word she again, but try to make a whistling sound when you do it? She.
Uh, she.
That's better. That's better. She.
She.
She. Okay. Now I'm going to put two words up on the screen. Okay. Here's one. Whoops. Here's one word. And here's another word. All right. Can you see the two words? No, you can't. Can you see the two words that I have written on the screen under "she kept quiet"?
I can't really.
Yes.
It'll come in a second.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Uh, Pachu, how do you say number one?
is a white,
How do you say number 2?
is a quit,
Oh, I think I have to put another word up here. Mohammed, how would you say number 1?
Quiet.
How would you say number 2?
Quit.
That's number 2. How would you say number 3?
Quit.
Okay. Pachu, can you say number 1?
is a quiet,
How would you say number 2?
is a quit,
How would you say number 3?
is same, quit,
Okay.
quit.
All right. So, number 1, what, Mohammed, do you know number 1? What is the meaning of number 1?
Calm.
No, that's number 2. You're thinking about number 2.
Leave.
That would be number 3. You're thinking of number 3.
Quiet.
You know, the number
I can't.
you probably know it, but it may be just nervous. It's like very, like, oh, it's quite hot. It's like very, similar to very. Have you seen that before? It's a very common
Yes,
word.
yes, I remember now.
Yeah. Okay. But you know, all 3 of these words sound very, very different to me. But when both of you say them, I'm not sure which word you're saying. Okay, so let's look at that for a minute. First of all, okay, Pachu and Mohammed, I'm going to say number 1, and I want you to think how many syllables are in this word number 1. Quite, quite. How many syllables?
Uh,
Is it two,
uh,
height,
What do you think, Mohammed? Is it 2 syllables? Do you agree with Pachu?
Quiet is one syllable.
Okay, see, Pachu, I agree with Muhammad. I think it's 1 syllable. Okay. Now, there are 2 sounds. There are 2 vowel sounds in that syllable, but it's 1 syllable.
yeah,
I'm not talking about sounds. We're talking about syllables. So,
okay.
if I say number 1 very slowly, which 2 sounds do you hear in the middle of the word? Quiet. Which 2 sounds do you hear?
Quiet.
Quiet.
Uh,
Quiet.
E, E, and I.
Okay. Ah and e. Quiet. Quite. 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 Mohammed, can you say ah e? Ah e. Ah e.
A, E, E. A, E.
Ah e. Ah e. Quite. 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 Quite.
Quiet.
Quite.
Quiet.
Quite. Go ahead. Again.
Quiet.
Quite.
Quiet.
Quite. Pachu, can you say number
Quiet.
1? Say number 1, Pachu.
so quite,
That's good. That's
quite,
very good. Quite. Quite. Mohammed, the first sound is a little bit longer than the second sound. The second sound is very small. Quite. Quite. Quite.
Quiet.
Quite.
Quiet.
Quite. Okay. All right, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to spell it like this. Quite. Quite. Okay, now let's look at number 2. So quite, number 1, that's like very. Oh, it's quite hot. That's like very hot. Similar to very. It's not the same thing, but it's similar. Okay, now let's look at number 2. Okay. Now I'm going to say number 2, and I want you to think about how many syllables are there. Okay. Quiet. 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 How many syllables? Hello? Did everybody disappear?
One syllable.
What do you think, Pachu? Is it one syllable?
Is it two?
It's two.
Quiet.
But here's the thing, and Pachu, this is why I'm telling you, because one syllable finishes with a vowel sound, and the next syllable starts with a vowel sound. So what do you have to do when you have one syllable finishing with a vowel sound and one syllable starting with a vowel sound? What do you have to do to separate them so it's very clear?
So we have to add extra sound in the middle so
Mm,
that it will become distinguish between
that's
them.
right. That's so you can distinguish, so you can tell the difference. You can hear the two syllables. So that's how you can tell the difference between number one and number two. Number one is just quite, but number two is quiet. You put that extra sound in there to separate the two syllables. Do you understand, Mohammed? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, we put Y, I think.
So how do you say number two? Can you pronounce it for me, Mohammed? How would you pronounce it?
Quiet.
Quiet. Quiet.
Quiet.
Again.
Quiet.
Quiet. Pachu, can you say number two?
The quiet,
Quiet. Quiet.
quiet, quiet.
That's right. That's right. Can you say it again, Mohammed? How would you say number two?
Quiet.
That's good. That's clear. I can hear the two syllables and something in the middle separating them. Quiet. Because I'm exaggerating when I say quiet. Nobody talks like that. But I just want you to hear it. Say it again.
Quiet.
Quiet. Quiet. Quiet. Say number one.
Quiet.
Say number one.
Quiet.
Quite. Quite.
Quiet.
Quite. Say number two.
Quiet.
Quiet. What does number one mean? What is the meaning of number one?
Very.
Okay. What is the meaning of number two?
Leave.
Okay. Oh, no, no. Number two is calm. Number two is calm.
Okay. Calm.
Uh-huh. What is number one?
Number one, very.
Okay.
Quite
And,
angry.
and say it. Can you say it?
Quite.
Quite. Quite. Just one sound. It's
Qui-
one syllable. Quite. Quite.
Quite.
And what does number two mean?
Calm.
Calm. And how do you pronounce it?
Quiet.
No, be careful. You have to put E in the middle. Quiet.
Quiet.
Yeah, you have to separate those two sounds. Otherwise, it sounds like number one. Number one, quite. Number two, quiet.
Quiet.
Mm-hmm. Pachu, can you say number one?
So, quiet,
Can you say number two?
quiet.
Quiet. That's good. What does number one mean?
Quiet means very.
And how do you say it?
So quiet
And what does number two mean?
means calm.
Okay, and how do you pronounce it?
Is quiet.
Quiet. Mohammed, what does number three mean? What is the meaning of number three?
Leave.
Okay.
Quit.
Leave or
Quit the
something.
interview.
Or also it could mean stop. Something like quit smoking, quit drinking, or it could mean leave. I'm quitting, leave forever. Quitting means leave forever. That's what it means. Okay, but this is a different sound, and it happens quit. It happens more. It's more like you try to eat the I. It happens in the back of your throat. Quit. You have to swallow it. Eh, eh. Can you try to say that sound, Muhammad? Eh.
Quit.
Just the vowel sound. Eh.
Eh, eh,
Yeah, it's like you push down in the back of your throat. Eh, like you're eating it. Try to eat it.
quit. Eh,
Quit, quit, quit. You have to feel it in the back of your throat. Quit. It goes down.
quit.
That's good.
Quit.
Quit, quit, quit. Okay.
Quit.
Pachu, can you say number 3?
Is a wait, wait,
Quit. Pretend like you're eating it. You have to pretend like you're pushing it down your throat. Quit,
wait,
quit,
wait,
quit. Because the I in quiet, that happens further, that happens in the front of your mouth. And happens down in the back of your throat. I. So you can feel the air pushing out when you say I, but you can feel your muscles pushing down when you say Quit. I quit.
wait, wait.
Quit. Pachu, say number 1.
Is it quite,
Quite. Say number 2.
quiet?
Quiet. Say number 3.
Is it quit?
Quit. Muhammad, how would you say number 3?
Quit.
Quit. Quit. You got to feel it in your throat. Quit. It's going down. You're eating it because you're hungry. Quit.
Quit.
Quit. How do you say number 1?
Quiet.
Quite. What does number 1 mean?
Very.
Okay. How do you say number 2?
Quiet.
Quiet. What does that mean?
Quiet. Calm.
Calm. Okay. And how do you say number 3?
Quit.
Quit. Okay. Muhammad, can you please read the sentence again? What is the sentence?
She kept quiet, lest she offend someone.
Okay. What does that mean? Kept quiet lest she offend someone. What does lest she offend someone mean? Why lest? What does that word mean?
Perhaps.
Okay, that's a good way of looking at it. But also there's this idea of afraid. She's afraid she will offend someone. Okay, but you're right. It could be like perhaps, but there's this idea of fear.
Okay.
But that's a good way of thinking of about it. Pachu, can you read the sentence again?
Okay, sir. She kept quiet lest she offend someone.
Okay, okay, all right. And we all understand. So she didn't talk because she was afraid to make someone feel bad, right? Is that clear what the meaning of
Yeah.
the sentence is? Okay. Now we have she kept. She kept. That word kept, Muhammad, kept. What do you think about the vowel sound in there? Can you say that word? Kept. Kept.
Kept.
That's a really
Kept.
that's a really hard word to say because you have to say kept. So the only way that you can
Schwa,
go ahead. What?
schwa sound.
It is short. It is short. It is very short. Can you say the word again?
Yes. Kept.
Kept. Pachu, can you say that
Kept.
word? Kept.
She kept,
Okay.
kept.
Now the word she, is that a big sound or a little sound? She, the vowel sound. Pachu.
Yeah, it's big.
It is big, and sometimes in a sentence, is it small?
Yes,
It could be, but because English likes to have big, small, big, small, big, small, that's the rhythm of English. Big, small, big, small. This time, because of kept is very small. So we'll make she big. especially because
Yes.
quiet is also big. So if we put these three words together, we have big, small, big. She kept quiet. She kept quiet. Can you say that?
Yeah. She kept quiet.
Whistle when you say she.
Okay. The- she
That's good.
she kept quiet.
She kept quiet. Can you say that, Mohammed?
She kept quiet,
Okay, she kept quiet. That's good. Okay. Mohammed, what are the next two words?
lest she,
Okay, lest she. Okay. And when you say lest, that sound in the middle, is that big or small?
small,
Well, I think that with the combination of the E and the S, it sounds like pretty long. Lest, lest. It's really the S that's long. But let's say that it's long. Let's say that it's a long sound. Okay. Can you say that word and make it pretty long? Lest.
lest,
Okay. Now, she can be big or small. It depends. This time, because lest is so big, let's make she very small. Lest she.
lest she,
Lest she.
lest she,
Pachu, can you pronounce that? How would you say that?
Uh, last she.
Lest.
Last she.
Lest she. She kept quiet lest she.
She kept quiet last she.
Okay. Don't forget to whistle when you say she.
Okay. So
That's good.
she.
You're doing it now. Before you couldn't do it, but now you're doing it.
Yeah.
Now you just have to
So
remember to do it all the time. She kept quiet lest she.
she she kept quiet last she.
She. Don't forget to whistle. Lest she.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Muhammad, can you say those words again?
lest she,
The whole phrase. She kept quiet lest she.
uh, she kept quiet, lest she,
Okay. Now, what do you think about the next word, Muhammad? Offend. Offend. There are two syllables in there. Are they big syllables or small syllables?
small syllables,
Both of them? I'm just going to say the syllable. I'm just going to say the vowel sounds and think about if they're big or small. Eh, eh, eh. Are they big? Are they both small? Eh.
maybe the second is small, is big,
It's big. It is big. Offend.
yes,
Can you say that word?
Offend,
Go ahead.
offend,
Offend. Offend.
offend, offend,
Pachu, can you pronounce that? How would you say that?
Offend.
Offend. Okay. Lest she offend. Lest she offend. Can you say all three words together, Pachu? Lest she offend.
Lest she offend.
Can you say that, Muhammad? Lest she offend.
lest she offend,
She kept quiet lest she offend. Can you say all of those words?
she kept quiet, lest she offend,
Okay. Now, are you saying quite, like very, or are you saying quiet, like calm?
quiet,
Okay, that's good. That's better. You have to be careful about that. Because if you don't separate those two syllables, it will always sound like number one.
okay,
Okay. Now we have the word someone. 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 That's a tricky word. What do you think about the vowel sounds in there?
someone,
Mhm.
short vowels,
Someone. Are they both short? Awa. Awa. Awa.
someone, the second one is just long,
It's big. Yeah, it's a couple of sounds actually. Someone. Can you say that word? She kept quiet lest she offend someone.
She kept quiet lest she offend someone.
Quite like very or quiet like calm? Which one?
She kept quiet
Quiet.
lest
Quiet.
she she kept quiet
That
lest she offend someone.
that's good. That was a good quiet. That's clear. If you say it like that, it will be clear. But if you don't, people might get confused. Pachu, can you say the entire sentence?
Yes, sir. She kept quiet lest she offend someone.
Okay, quiet or is it very or calm? Which one do you want?
So quiet.
Quiet. You have to put that middle sound. Otherwise, I don't understand the word. I think it's a different word. Quiet.
Yes,
Say it again.
quiet.
That's good. That was good. Say the sentence.
Why? Okay. So she kept quiet lest she offend someone.
Okay, but now don't forget to whistle when you say she. She kept quiet lest she offend someone.
She kept quiet lest she offend someone.
Okay, very or calm?
We said
Very, are you saying very quiet or are you saying calm? Quiet.
quiet.
Yes, you have to do that. If you don't do that, I hear a completely different word. Try again.
Yeah, okay. So she kept quiet lest she offend someone.
Okay, all right. Pachu, how will you make a yes no question with that sentence?
So did she keep quiet lest she offend someone?
Okay, is it keep or keep? Which one?
Is it keep?
Keep. Yes, you have to make that big. Did she keep quiet?
Did did she keep quiet?
Mm-hmm. We'll just stop there. Let's not do the last part. That doesn't make sense in a question. So we'll just say, did she keep quiet? Can you repeat that again?
Did she quiet?
Don't forget.
Keep quiet?
Don't forget to whistle. Did she?
Did she
She. Don't
did she
not shri. She. No, there's no wa in there. She. Did she?
did this did she
That was
did
good. That was
she
really good. Did she?
did she
She.
did
Don't.
she
You're adding a W.
did
Don't
she
put that. Don't say shwi. Just say she. She.
did she
Did she keep
did
quiet?
she
Mm-hmm.
did she did she
Mm-hmm.
keep keep quiet?
What? Very or calm? Which one?
No, is it quiet?
Quiet. Right. You have to put that middle sound in there. Otherwise, people will understand a different word. Okay. Did she
Yes,
keep
yes.
quiet? Did she keep quiet? Say it again.
Did did she keep quiet?
Okay. Mohammed, can you make that question? How would you say that question?
Did she keep quiet?
Okay. Very or calm? Which one?
Did she keep quiet?
Quiet. There's an E in the middle to separate the two sounds. Quiet.
Did she keep quiet?
That was better. That was better. You could make it a little bit stronger though, and that would be even better. Quiet, quiet, quiet,
Did she keep quiet?
quiet. Can you say ah,
Uh,
I,
I,
I yet,
it,
I yet,
it,
I yet,
it,
quiet,
quiet,
That was good. That's very clear if you do it like that. Quiet.
quiet.
That's very good. Okay. Did she keep quiet?
Did she keep quiet?
That's very good, very clear. How will you answer no?
No, she didn't.
Okay, but tell me the entire sentence because we want to practice saying every word.
No, she didn't keep quiet.
Quiet. No, she didn't keep quiet. Pachu, can you answer no?
It's the no C
Mm-hmm.
keep quiet and didn't keep quiet.
Okay. Very or calm? Which one?
Is a quiet.
Quiet. You have to put that E. If you don't put that E, I will hear very. I think you're saying very. So you have to say quiet.
Yes, I have. Yeah. Before this, I just only say quiet,
Well,
but now I know that yeah, it should be long. The
no,
quiet.
this is a very, very
Yeah.
common problem for absolutely everybody. Doesn't matter which
Yeah.
language, learning English.
And also, and I also think that the many teachers who teach pronunciation, but they do not focus on the long sound and short sound, and they just teach the pronunciation of words. But I now realize that yeah, this is very important
Makes it
because
makes a
which sound we
makes a
have to
very big
make
difference.
long and short.
Mhm. Yeah, it makes a very, very
Yeah.
big difference. It does. Okay. All right. Let's do what is our next word? Uh, mix up. Well, actually, I think maybe we'll just do one more word. Let's do vague.
Yes.
Do
Yes.
you know
Yes.
Mohammed or Pachu? Do either of you know that word vague? Have you ever seen that before?
Yes.
Yes,
What does that mean? Vague.
ambiguous.
Ambig. Oh, actually, that's this really just proves my point. Okay, ambig. Because this is a problem. This is a really big problem. It doesn't matter which language you're coming from. Nobody can do this. It takes some practice to do this. I'm just writing down the word here. I don't know if you can see it yet. Do you see that I've written down the word that you said, Mohammed?
Yes, now I can see.
Oh, okay. How many syllables are in this word?
Three.
No, no, that's not correct. There are actually four syllables.
Ambiguous.
You are pronouncing it like there are three syllables, but there are really four syllables. And so, what is the first syllable?
Um,
Okay, so I'm just going to separate these as you say them. So the first syllable is am. What is the second syllable?
big.
Be. Let's say be. What is the syllable number? Well, this is where we have the problem. Okay, the next syllable is gu. The next syllable is
You.
gu. So this is ambigu. Can you say ambigu?
Ambiguous.
Okay, and the final syllable is us. Us.
Us.
Ambiguous.
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 You. Us. Can you say us?
Us.
Can you say you us?
You. Us.
Okay. Pachu.
So
Can you say all four syllables?
ambiguous.
Okay. And
Am
okay. What is the third syllable?
yeah is a you
Okay, gu is the third syllable. What is the fourth syllable?
is a us.
Okay, so what is the final sound of gu?
Is a oo.
Okay, ooh. And what is the first sound of us?
Is a
Hello? Uh-oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay. So what do we have to do to make sure that it's very clear that we're pronouncing the two syllables separately? What is it important to do?
So we put extra sound, that is oo. We double the oo sound.
That's right. Okay, in this case, because the final sound is oo, gu, we have to put an extra oo here to separate these two syllables. Do you understand, Mohammed, the reason why you have to
Yeah,
make an extra sound?
yes.
Okay, so I'm going to say
To
this. Go ahead. What? Go ahead. What?
connect them.
Yeah, you have to connect them. Okay. And so, uh, wait, I'm trying to do two things at one time. I can't, but I can't. Sorry, I can only do one thing at a time. I'm trying to get a sentence up here. Okay, I'm going to say this word very slowly, and I want you to hear all of the different sounds. Ambiguous. Ambigu, and then you put that oo in there to separate the two syllables. Ambiguous. Can you say that, Mohammed?
Ambiguous.
Ambiguous. Say it again.
Ambiguous.
That was good. Pachu, can you say it?
Yes, sir. So ambiguous.
Okay, and just try to make it smooth. Ambiguous.
Ambiguous.
That was good. That was really good. Okay. So this, if you could understand this idea, this will change your pronunciation. It will like by 10 times, it will increase your ability to pronounce words clearly. It really is something that will help you a lot if you can, if you understand this, recognize it, and use it. It definitely will. Okay, Mohammed, can you read this sentence that I have written under the word ambiguous?
Uh, After big is what?
You
Okay.
don't see the word? You don't see the sentence?
Now I can see.
Okay. Can you read it?
His instructions were too vague to follow.
Okay. All right, so we have his instructions. His instructions. What do you think when you hear, let's see, his instructions? There are four syllables in that phrase. Are they big syllables or small syllables, do you think? His instructions.
Small syllables.
All of them?
His instructions. Small vowel sounds.
Mm. So if I say the word his, is that a big vowel sound or a little vowel sound? His.
His is now it's big.
Okay, his and what about in? Is that big or small?
Small.
Can you say those two sounds together?
Is in.
His and. How about
Is in.
struck? Struck. Is that big or small?
Small. Small.
What do you think, Pachu? Is that big or small? Struck.
Stroke
Okay,
is stroke is big.
it's big. It's pretty long. This don't worry, Muhammad. It takes a little time to recognize the difference. But if it were small, maybe it would be struck, struck, struck. But it's not struck. It's struck. Can you hear the difference? Struck, struck.
Straw.
You hear the
Yes.
difference?
Yes.
Uh, and then we have chins, chins, chins. Is that big or small, Muhammad? Chins.
Last syllable.
Is that big or small? Chins.
Small.
Okay, so we have a pattern that's very preferable in English. Big, small, big, small. His instructions, and this fits the pattern very, very nicely. His instructions. his instructions. Can you say those two words, concentrating on the length of the
His 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 instructions.
his instruction?
His in his instructions.
Pachu, can you say it?
His instructions.
His instructions. Can you hear the difference? The big and the small and the big and the small.
Yeah. His
Uh,
instructions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mohammed,
do we say it? Do we say it his instruction or his instructions? We connect them.
when people are talking,
Yeah.
Uh,
when people are talking, if one word starts with a vowel sound, in a sentence, for example, in a conversation, if one word starts with a vowel sound, it will almost always take the sound of the word in front of it. So instead of saying his instructions, actually that sounds very, maybe you don't do that in Arabic, because I can imagine somebody who speaks Arabic saying his instructions, like they don't, I don't, maybe they don't like to connect words, I don't know. But
Yes.
in English you
Yes.
do connect words, so this would be his instructions. That's very typical of English.
Yeah.
his
His.
Yeah,
instructions.
his in, like that.
His
Sounds like another word.
It does. That's why it's very difficult to understand
Yeah.
spoken English, because you have to
Yes.
relearn
Yeah.
you have to relearn English this way.
Yes. Yes. So I think such type of learning cannot found from the textbook,
Hmm.
because we are only focus most of the time on mm, textbook English.
Yeah,
So it is difficult. Yeah.
this is a hard thing to learn. But the same thing happens with well, okay, let's move on to the next word, because the same thing happens. Mohammed, the word were.
or
Is
were
that a big vowel sound or a little vowel sound?
long.
It's very long. Were. What is the first sound of that word? I'm going to say the word very, very slowly, and you tell me what the first sound is. Ooer. What is the first sound of that word? Ooer.
Were e
Uh, ooh. Ooer.
ooh ooh
W.
ooh
Yeah, W always starts with a oo sound. Ooer, like that. Ooer. Can you say that?
were were.
Uh-huh. Ooer. Okay, is that a vowel sound?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that means that the way it will be pronounced is it will take the sound of instructions, and it will be zooer. Zooer.
Were.
His instructions were.
His instructions were his
Were.
instructions were.
His
It's
instructions
very
were.
hard.
His instructions were. Pachu, can you say that? His instructions were.
His instructions were.
Okay. Now, Mohammed, what about the next word? To. Is that a big vowel sound or a little vowel sound?
His instructions were
What about the.
too vague.
Okay. And now that
Too vague, long vowel.
it's
Too.
very long. Okay. And you always, this word TOO, you always have to pronounce it in a very big way. To, to. Can you say it like that?
Too.
Okay.
Too.
Try to stretch it out a little more. Relax and say two. Let it go for a while.
Too.
Two. His instructions were too.
His instructions were too.
Pachu, can you say all of those words together?
Okay. So His instructions were too.
Okay. Uh, Mohammed, what do you think about the next word? Vague. What do you think about that vowel sound? Is that a big vowel sound or a little vowel sound? Vague.
big,
Okay. Well, I think we better write 2 words down here. Okay. I'm just going to put 2 words here because I think we have a little problem. Can you see the 2 words that I have put up on the screen, number 1 and number 2?
yes,
Okay. How do you pronounce number 1?
vague,
Okay. How do you pronounce number 2?
big,
Okay. You hear the difference? One vowel sound is very, very long, and it's different. It's a different.
in vague,
What? Go ahead.
in vague, long vowel,
Okay. Yes, but make it a little bit longer. Vague. Don't go.
vague,
Don't be in the middle. Make it very long because if you're in the middle, I'm not sure if you're saying number 1 or number 2. They sound very similar. Say so. Make it very long. Vague.
vague,
Vague, and add a little I at the end. Vague.
vague,
Vague. Can you say egg? Egg.
vague, egg,
Vague.
vague,
Vague. Vague.
vague,
There are 2 sounds in number 1, and number 2 is just beg. Beg. It's very short, very simple. Beg. Beg. You hear the difference?
yes,
Say number 1.
vague,
Vague.
big,
And say number 2.
big,
Beg. Beg. Okay.
big,
Can you say the 2 words together? Too vague.
too vague,
Too vague. So you cannot be short on that word. You have to always be long with vague for a couple of reasons. Can you say his instructions were too vague?
too vague,
Say the whole sentence. Well, say his instructions were too vague. Say all of that.
his instructions were too vague,
Okay, but I want you to make that A bigger. I wish it was bigger. Vague.
vague,
Because if you're too short with it,
his, in,
go ahead.
his instructions were too vague,
That's clear. That's clear. It's not clear if you make it too short. Pachu, can you say that phrase?
Too vague.
You sound.
Vague.
I don't know what happened, Pachu. You sound very far away now.
Okay, so sorry. Okay,
Okay, that's better.
so vague.
His instructions were too vague. Can you say everything?
Okay, his his instructions were too vague.
Okay. Now, the next word, too, is that a long sound or a big sound?
It's short.
Well,
Short.
okay. Now, TOO and TO, do they sound the same? Two, do they sound the same?
No,
What do you think, Mohammed? Do they sound the same? Two.
no, no, one long, the other is short,
Well, okay. If you're saying the word alone, they sound exactly the same. Okay. Here's TOO, two, TO, two. It's the same. Okay. But the difference is that TO is a very, very common word. And it's so common, we like to make it very short. It becomes da, da, da. But TOO is always two. It's never, never short. So vague two becomes vagueta, vagueta, vagueta. Can you say that, Mohammed? Vagueta,
vague, tall,
vagueta, vagueta.
tall,
So too vagueta, too vagueta,
too vague, tall,
too vagueta. Can you say that, Pachu? Too vague.
Too baked.
Mm-hmm.
Too baked.
His instructions were too vague.
His instructions were too baked.
Okay, that's good. Can you say all of that, Muhammad?
His instructions were too big.
Mm-hmm. So that to you can change that to da all the time. But that other word too, that always must be very big. Too, that always must be like that. You can never change that. Now, what do you think about the final word? Follow. Follow. There are two syllables, Mohammed. Are they big or small syllables? Follow.
Follow one big and
Mm-hmm.
the second is small.
Okay, the first one is big and the second one is small. Follow. Too vague to follow. Can you say that phrase? Too vague to follow.
Too big to follow.
Pachu, can you say that phrase? Too vague to follow.
Too vague to follow.
Can
Too vague to follow.
you say too vague to? Too vague to? Too vague to? Too vague to?
Too vague.
Too vague to follow.
Too vague to follow.
His instructions were too vague to follow.
His instructions were too vague to follow.
Okay. Mohammed, can you say the entire sentence?
His instructions were too big to follow.
Okay, his instructions were too vague to follow. Pachu, how do you make a yes-no question with that sentence?
So, were his instructions too vague to follow?
Okay, now we have a little problem. So we've got to look at this for a minute.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Where his instructions?
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Let me think for a second. Okay. All right. Pachu, can you see I think you know the problem. You know what the problem is. I can tell. But let's talk
Yeah.
for a minute. Uh,
Okay.
Mohammed, can you read number one? How do you say number one?
Where,
Okay. How do you say number two?
where,
Number one?
where,
Pachu, can you say number one?
Is where
And how do you say number two?
is where?
Okay. So to you, number one and number two sound very similar.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, I'm going to say number one very, very slowly. And then I'm going to say number two very, very slowly. And just pay attention to the sound in the middle, the vowel sound in the middle, and tell me which one has two sounds, number one or number two. Here's number one. Where. Where. Here's number two. Were. Were. Which one has two sounds in the middle?
Said one.
Okay. What are the
Where?
where? E e
A
e
A
Where? Can you
A
say number one, Pachu?
Where
Where?
Where
Where? Say number two.
is where?
Were. It's just Number two is just were.
Where?
Were.
Where?
Say number one.
Or or is where?
Uh-huh.
Where
Where? Say number two.
is where?
Were.
Where?
Were. It's just So number one is and number two is
Yeah.
uh.
Uh
Just
uh
Muhammad, can you say number one?
where,
Where? And can you say number two?
where.
Were. And this is very important because if you go to the UK, a lot of times they don't pronounce the R at the end of a word. So the only way that you can know the difference between number one and number two is because of the vowel sounds. Because in the UK, number one sounds like where, and number two sounds like were.
Yeah.
So it's a
Yeah.
really important thing to pay attention to. Okay.
I have a question.
Okay.
In this sentence, should we use was instead of were?
Uh,
Because there is
well, okay.
his instruction was
Well, his is an adjective describing instructions. So instructions is really the thing that we're talking about. And instructions is plural. That's why it's were and not was. Does that make sense?
yes, yes.
If you were going to substitute, if you were going to use a pronoun for his instructions, which pronoun would you use? He, she, it, you, they? Which one?
His turns to he.
Okay.
You were
Are we
too
talking
vague.
about? Are we talking about a person?
Yes, he was too vague.
Okay. Uh, so he was too vague, or the instructions were too vague. Which one? See, we can change this. We can say the. We can say the instructions.
Yes,
Is that
the
he, she, it, you, they? What is the pronoun?
they,
They.
they,
That's right. It's they, but it's also they if you say his. His is not a person. It's just in a description. It's an adjective. Uh, those instructions, this instructions, her instructions, his instructions is a description here. It's not about a person. Do you understand?
yes,
It's still they. This is they were too vague. That's why it's plural. We're talking about instructions, not a person. Is that pretty clear?
yes, clear.
Pachu, can you make a yes no question with his instructions were too vague?
Okay, so where is instructions too vague to follow?
What is the sound in the middle of were? What is that sound?
Oh,
Uh, uh. Go down deeper into your throat.
oh,
Like you're coughing.
uh,
Like you're coughing.
oh, oh,
Were. It's down
oh,
there. Were.
were,
Yes,
were.
that's better because it sounds like you're saying where. Sounds like you're saying
Yeah.
were. Go down. Try again.
Okay.
Were his instructions?
Were is instructions? Were. Were is instructions?
Okay, make the whole question.
Were his instructions too vague to follow?
Were his instructions too vague to follow? Mohammed, can you ask that question? How would you say that?
Where his instruction were too vague to follow?
Okay, you made a little mistake. Can you try again?
Where his instructions were too vague to follow?
Okay, I'm just going to show you something very quickly. Uh, well, actually, I'll just write what you said. Okay, and let me know when you can see this, the question that I have written. Can you identify a mistake?
Yes, yes, I used where twice.
That's right. So, what would be the correct way to make the question?
Were his instructions too vague to follow?
That's right. And this could be too vague to, too vague to, too vague to. Were his instructions too vague to?
Too, too vague to.
Mm-hmm. Say the whole question.
Were his instructions too vague to follow?
Okay, too vague to follow. Too vague to follow. Too
Follow.
follow.
Were his instruction too vague to follow?
Okay. Pachu, what happens when you make a question with were his? What happens to the word his?
So we can replace with the articles, any articles.
Oh, well, that's true. But I'm just saying phonetically, when you make the question, the word his will disappear into the word
Yeah, yeah, yes.
were is.
Where is?
Were is.
Where is?
Not okay, it sounds
Where
like you're
is?
saying where. So it's not it's push down. Were is.
Where is?
That's better.
Where
Well,
is?
that's better. Were
Where
is
is?
instructions. It becomes like one word. Were is instructions
Yeah.
too vague to follow? Say it like that.
What is instructions too vague to follow?
Can you try to say it like that, Mohammed?
Where is instruction too vague to follow?
Okay, that's pretty typical. That's usually how people will talk. So, although you should never write that, never ever write that, but that's the way people will say it. Mohammed, how would you say no? No, his.
No, his instructions
Mhm.
were too vague to follow.
Oh no, it's negative. So you were right. Weren't. No, his. Tell me again. No.
No, his instructions weren't too vague to follow.
Pachu, can you say it?
No, his instructions were not too big to follow.
Okay. And what happens to no and his when people are talking?
And no hits, no
No
hits,
is,
no
no
hits,
is, no is.
no hits.
No is instructions weren't too vague to follow.
No his instructions were not to be big to follow.
Can you say no his instructions weren't? No his instructions weren't.
No his instructions weren't.
No,
Weren't.
no is instructions weren't too vague to follow.
No his instructions were too big to follow.
Vague or
Were not.
vague? Which one is correct?
Mm,
Vague
mm,
or vague?
Vague,
It has to be very
vague.
big. Has to be very big. No, his instructions weren't too vague to follow.
No, no, his instructions were not too big to follow.
Muhammad, can you try to say that? Instead of no his, you say no is. No is.
No, his instructions weren't too vague to follow.
No is. No is.
No, his instructions were too vague to follow.
Weren't. Weren't. Negative. It has to be a negative.
No, his instructions weren't too vague to follow.
Okay, that was pretty good. Okay. All right. Well, I am tired, so I think we're going to finish
Okay,
here for
sir.
today.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
And I'm going to try to do Gone with the Wind in about 10 hours from now. Okay, so if you want to join me, maybe we can. I'm not sure if we can, because I have some things to do, but maybe we can practice a little also tomorrow when I finish reading. So if you want, Mohammed, thank you for joining us. And if you want to join us again tomorrow, you're welcome, or whenever you want. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, it's been fun, and I hope to see you again soon. Okay. Have a
Okay,
good
thank
night.
you,
Okay,
sir.
good night.
Goodbye.